How you doing, folks? I am Sean in Alaska. The comment down there on the screen is from my daughter. Which daughter? This daughter, right here. How you guys doing today? The way I usually handle this is, and first of all, yeah, it's gone. The beard is history. The way I usually do this is I like to say hello to everybody. I like to answer every comment or every question that I have in there. And if you're chatting amongst each other, that's fine. I can usually skip over that. But if I miss your question, please do me a favor. Type it out again in caps. If I have already answered it by the time I get to it the second time, I'll just skip over it. It's not a big deal. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope you had a great weekend. Awesome. We're back at it again. You're welcome, Ward. Ward saying thank you for the egg. Gloria, awesome to see you. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm very, very proud. I've known Gloria for years. Super, super awesome. Thanks, Gloria. Much appreciated. M Hammer, 2x6 walls, 2x6 framing for the entire cabin. Yeah. So let me jump back up to the top here and say hello to some people that were here super, super early. And if you guys can't see me or can't hear me, then you're going to miss everything I'm saying right now anyway. First one I saw today was JD. Awesome to see you, brother. Fantastic. You can make it this afternoon. Curmudgeon, how are you, man? Awesome. Awesome to see you. You asked what area I was in. I am on the Kenai Peninsula. I'm just outside of Soldotna, Alaska. Down on the beautiful Kenai Peninsula, Alaska's playground. This is where all the fish come. This is where everybody comes to fish. It's just fantastic. Lipstick Lodge, good to see you. Awesome to have you here today. In the middle of making no knead cheese and herb bread. I can't wait to get an oven so I can start making bread. Oh, I am looking forward to it. Do I have a vid of where I'm at? There's a couple of them in there. So Turn Lake is one. Trips to Homer is one. There's a bunch of earlier videos that I did before I was really building that were all locally around this area. So if you're interested in seeing that, there'll be more of them this year because I'm going to get off the property some this year and go do stuff. But if you're interested in seeing that kind of stuff, check out some of the earlier videos by all means. Scrolling through here, Remy, thank you for joining me today. Awesome to see you. Thomas, as always, thanks for joining this afternoon. Bill, good to see you as well. He's building a cabin himself right now and goes live as well. As a matter of fact, if I was on the right screen, I would just go ahead and mod you, but I can't really do that. But if I have a mod in here, and I don't know if I do right now, do me a favor and share Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead. Share his channel, definitely, because he's kind of doing the same stuff I'm doing, but he's got some bigger toys that I'm really jealous of. Joe Montano, good to see you, my friend. Awesome, awesome to have you here today. Rebel Canners, thanks for joining in. Built on the Rock Homestead, Oliver Jackson, good to see you today as well, my friend. A lot of folks from Texas in here today. Ward, and then here come all the hello to Wards. Jerry Canadian, good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you here today. Peanut Trucker, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Ryan, good to see you, bud. I've missed you the last couple of lives. Glad you can make it today. Yeah, this is definitely a heads up. If you're in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, watch the weather, guys. There's been some crazy stuff headed your way. So definitely make sure that you're keeping an eye on what's going on. Your safety is more important than this live. Sunshine, awesome to see you today. I hope Warren is doing well. Taylor, good to see you. Thanks for joining me from Georgia. David Briggs, welcome. And then back to my daughter, Ashley. Awesome to see you, babe. I love you. Rosalie, if you're there, Grandpa loves you too. Rosalie is my granddaughter. Art, Deep South Alabama, good to see you, man. Awesome to have you here today. Kathy, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Rhonda Richter, welcome, and thanks for joining me. From central Wisconsin, nice. Planting seeds already. You get that just, yeah, that's not right. I still got 3 feet of snow in my front yard. Kristen, how are you today? Good to see you. Todd sends me a message yesterday. You guys will get a kick out of this. So I'm in town running some errands, and Todd sends me a message. He said, man, I'm sorry I missed your live today. I got busy working on the backyard and everything else, and I just missed it. I just blew it off. And I sent him a message back, and I said, man, Todd, you really must be getting forgetful because today's only Saturday. I don't go live till tomorrow. We've got Russell from Raspberry Rock off grid listening, but he's on the trail on his way back to the cabin because he must have dropped off City Girl. Russell's got a great channel. Russell does great lives. City Girl, Raspberry Rock, AMSR, great channel as well. And she was live this morning, so I got to have coffee with those guys today, which was super nice. And it was a different live than what I'm used to with Russell. So it was kind of nice to start out my Sunday morning with you guys. Thank you very much for that. That was very, very cool. Everybody saying hi to everybody. Good to see you, my friend. Genova, good to see you. Glad you can make it today. And now I'm getting caught up slowly but surely. I answered this one for you, M Hammer, and it is 2x6 construction on the walls. 2x8 construction on the walls. Or sorry, 2x6 construction on the walls, 2x8 construction on all of the subfloor, 16 inches on center, and then 2x10 rafters and 2x12 ridge beam. It's tough being retired. I lose track, right? Matt AK, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Susan, thank you for joining us today. I got you on that one. We got that one answered. Yeah, not a problem at all, Ward. The chickens are laying like mad, and Ward sends me a text on Friday. Got eggs? I go, yeah. So he sends me a text this morning. I'm thinking he's going to show up Friday, Saturday. So I get a text this morning from got eggs. I'm like, yeah, I got the same eggs that I had on Friday, dude. He came by and picked them up, and Ward did shave. For those that are curious, because I said usually when I shave Ward ends up shaving like a week or two later. He shaved as well. Gloria, again, good to see you. Awesome. Spence, what's up, man? WCAM Studios. Awesome to see you. We got to get together, man. You've been out here for, almost a year now, and we haven't even friggin' had lunch. Sunshine's got 2 inches of grass visible in her front yard. Yep, it's dead, though, right? Don't tell me it's green already, because there's no way it's green already. Okay, Curmudgeon wants to know, where did I get my Utilikilt? I got it from Utilikilt. I got it at a Celtic fair that they used to do in Sonora, California. And now it's the Calaveras County Celtic Fair. They moved over one county because they had a bigger fairground, a bigger venue to do it at. It's huge. But I bought it at the Celtic Fair there from Utilikilt, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Matter of fact, I'm getting it all cleaned up and ready to go for this season. Pretty soon I'll be wearing nothing but the kilt when I'm not at work. I need to get a second one, though, because it can get pretty wiped out pretty quickly. Get dirty pretty quick, and it's a pain in the neck to clean. Not to clean, I can just machine wash it, but to dry it, it's gotta hang out and dry, and it takes a couple of days because it's so heavy. Oh, you're welcome, man. I'm sorry I didn't get to that quicker, but I wanted to make sure I did get you answered there. Well, no beard man is a stolen mustache. I don't know. I could go shorter. Right? This is what it would look like if it's shorter. Nah, we'll leave it that way. I don't go any longer with the mustache anymore. David Evans, good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you here today. Anna Taylor, thank you for joining me today as well. Greatly appreciate it. Suzanne, glad you can make it today from Messina, New York. Very cool. Nanny Goat Acres, how are you doing today? Good to see you. There's Warren going in hot. How you doing, my friend? Awesome to see you today. Am I coming up to the Valley? Probably maybe State Fair time, because my daughter Ashley is talking about coming up in August. So if she comes up, then I'll take some vacation time and we'll probably drive up, do the State Fair, and I definitely got to show my granddaughter all the huge vegetables and stuff up there. Maybe catch a concert or two while we're up there. But yeah, if I do, it won't be till more than likely August before I get up that way. Big Bear, how are you doing today? Awesome to see you. Miss Karen, thank you for joining me today. Awesome to see you as always. I've always been able to grow a mustache, and facial hair is always, since I was 16, I've had a mustache like this. It's just that the beard was even more white than the mustache is. And it gets too itchy, and then I get tired of looking at it because I go, man, I look old. And I don't look as old with the beard gone, I don't think. But it's just nice to get rid of it. And it usually goes every March. Keeps my face warm all winter, though. I like that. But the mustache, if I shave that thing off, my lip looks like it's about that big. Charles and Adeline from the Philippines. Awesome to see you guys. Glad you can make it today. Hey, not at all, man. What you're doing with your cabin is super awesome. And I'll second that again right now. It's just, if you want to see two different aspects, right? Because everybody who I've watched who's built a cabin, Bill here, at Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead, Jay and Jen over at Jay and Jen's Off Grid, Russell at Raspberry Rock, all the way up to these folks, Wild Wonderful Off Grid, building an incredible house. everybody's done it different, and it's super, super awesome to watch how they're doing it. Kyle's Cabin, another great. Everybody has their own take on how they should do it, and it's super cool to watch. Steve, good to see you, my friend. Awesome, awesome to have you here today. Yvonne, how are you? Glad you can make it today. Awesome to have you here today. Rhonda Richter, inside planting under grow lights. We have lots of snow. Okay, yeah. I'm going to start some seeds probably this week. I'm probably going to start onions. But I got a project that I'm working on in the front part of the cabin here. As a matter of fact, let me spin this around here so I've been doing a whole bunch of cleaning up this weekend because I got done with the other project with the other side closet that I was doing, and I built another closet in the bathroom, and for clothes and stuff. But I spent the rest of the weekend really cleaning up in here, and I'm going to spin the camera around so you guys can see how open, how much crazy space I have in this cabin. Right? Look at that. I mean, I moved the couch over against this wall, but everything else is wide open now. Pull down the yellow scaffolding. I've got Todd's big ladder there for ceiling work when I start putting wood on the ceiling. But it's crazy how wide open that is. I mean, it is just amazing. Put that back up there. Yeah, I'm just blown away, especially after spending, well, I guess the last 10 years in an RV or a fifth wheel trailer. 3 years, 3 winters in the fifth wheel trailer on this property. To have all this space is just phenomenal. Been away for a while. I subbed. Oh, okay, very cool. Well, watching North Shore. I miss Sean. I miss him so much, man. You do a lot. I've done a lot of videos since then. Man, I miss that guy. I think about that guy every freaking day. What a gentleman he was. What a gentleman and a scholar he was. What's the weight on what? Let me know. Clear that up for me so I know what we're talking about. Henry Leslie Vermont, good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you here today. Oh, okay. It must have been for Bill. Mark at Camp Bell Off Grid, good to see you as well. Awesome, awesome to have you here. Mike G, how are you? The moon ran out of cheese. I know, Ward. You know, Ward, what I really need is a wood stove. If you were to happen to show up tomorrow and just drop one off, I'd be okay with that. I've gone the other way with my kilt. I've shrunk too much, so it's going to be interesting when I put it on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear it or if I'm going to have to buy a new one right away because it was starting to get pretty loose at the end of last summer, and I'm kind of nervous that I've gotten way too skinny for it. So we'll see. Hopefully not. I've got some adjustments in there, but yeah, I've kind of gone the other way with that. So I need another kilt anyway, right? William Strom, good to see you, my friend. Awesome to see you. And just hang out for as long as you can. I appreciate every minute I get you guys here with me today. It's always fun. I kind of really look forward to Sundays, just catching up with folks. It's a neat thing for me too. Cecilia, awesome to see you today. Very, very glad you can make it. You pretty much comment on every single video, Cecilia, that I have ever put out, and I greatly appreciate that. I trust people who are having a beard, mustache, anything like that. That's the well, I guess my dad had the same thing. My dad had a mustache forever, and he could grow a pretty good beard too, and he was Irish. So I don't know if I get it from him or from my mom's side of the family because she was Sicilian. You've lost enough weight to get back into your kilt? Nice. Suzanne, awesome to have you today. Oh, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. That is super, super awesome. Right? Exactly. Rebel Canner. Sean has his summer hairdo, no beard. And I was thinking, I used to take a razor to the head and shave my entire head. It's just a hassle to do, especially without a shower, which I'm working on putting something together for a shower here now. But this is kind of what I look like when my head's shaved. Eves, good to see you. Awesome to have you here today. Jewish Redneck Prepper, shalom to you as well. Very glad you can make it. Sunshine wants to know what's on the project list for this week. There's going to be some outside work. I don't know how much of that I'm going to actually get recorded, but I got a plan for over by the windows. And I have to start working on bathroom ceiling and wiring some different lights that I have in here. I've got a I ordered a new MPPT solar charge controller. Should arrive Tuesday, along with 5 more of these lights that I have up here, these RV dimmable 12-volt lights. And for those that don't know, that's pretty much the only way I'm going to light my cabin is going to be with 12-volt lighting. So those will be showing up. So I'll be doing some wiring there. I'm going to be organizing the wiring. It's just more organizational stuff than anything. That's what's on tap for this week, and building a fixture and maybe a table this week as well. But the video that you'll see this Friday will be what I did last week, because I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, which is nice. I always like to have, a bunch of stuff recorded and be able to put a video out without having to scramble and get stuff done. So I'm starting to get ahead of myself. And that's like last summer when I ended up doing 2 videos a week. It was because I got so far ahead of myself that I was showing you guys stuff that was done 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks before. And I want to get there again, because I think it's a ton of fun, because then when we do these lives, I can give you sneak peeks on what I'm doing. All right. See, just rub it in, right? Planted your garden already, mowed your grass twice. 70. Man, I would love 60. If we got 60 degrees one afternoon here, I would be a very happy young man. Very happy young man. It does, Matt. It feels like it's so big in here. It's so crazy to have all of this room. It's just phenomenal. Doing redneck things off grid. How are you doing today from Nevada? Awesome to see you. That's true, David. So, because I got the futon here anyway, so it'll be awesome. The kids come up and they want to stay with Grandpa, or they want to stay with Dad, and the grandkids want to stay with Grandpa. Although I probably would need to build a bunkhouse for my oldest daughter, because she's got 3 boys. There's 5 of them, and it would get crowded in here real quick. But plenty of room for having people hang out. And when I get the deck put on, it's going to be even more awesome. Thank you, Suzanne. Greatly appreciate that. I go through like spurts of where I'm all really excited and I'm really happy with how everything's going, and then I get really frustrated because I can't get to the next step fast enough. But when I see comments like that, it's super awesome, because it kind of centers me and focuses me again. And that's part of the reason why I like doing this live every Sunday, and I have that little intro in the beginning. It reminds me of where I was and where I am. And to me, that is just an awesome, awesome thing. And if you're working on any kind of project, if you can look back where you were when you started and you can see where you're at right now, a lot of times that gives you the motivation to go to the next step. And a lot of times you don't realize how much you've actually done until you look back and see the whole thing. And I think that's super awesome. Yes. Will the porch be the first outside project this year? That is my plan, is to have that porch / deck built on the front of here as the first outside project, because I want to be able to sit on it when I'm done working on other projects and relax every afternoon. And I can't really do the garden first thing, because I have to wait not only for the snow to melt and thaw, but then I have to wait for the ground to dry out a bit before I can start building my garden up. So the deck / porch will be the first thing I'm going to do this year. Darth, Lord Veda, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Did I say that I'm wanting the all solar panels for the areas of your properties? Yeah, it's going to be so in Alaska during the summer, or actually from now through September, we have great sunlight. I can power this entire cabin and run everything I want to run during those months. But from September until about now, there's not much you can do, because if we do have enough sunshine, it's very limited, and then we're getting storms and we're getting clouds, and you're not getting that. So I'll always have a generator for battery backup, to back up the batteries to top everything off. But mainly solar is the direction that I want to be in 100% when I'm done. Trudy Cron, awesome to see you today. Glad you can make it. Loft closet turned out great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do. That wood it's called blue stained knotty pine. And basically the bark beetle comes through and it infests those trees, and it ends up killing them. But like the enzyme that the beetle leaves behind causes that blue stain through the wood. So it's a naturally occurring stain in the wood. And a lot of folks don't like it because it's completely different. I mean, if I did the whole inside of the cabin like that, it would be overkill. It would be too much. But I think used in sparse areas like I did with the closets upstairs, like I'm planning on doing in a couple of locations downstairs, I think it accents the entire look. It's so pretty. I love that wood. How much tongue and groove did I purchase? So for each side of the closet upstairs, each one of those took 13 8-foot pieces. Well, except for this side. It took 14 because Sean screwed up some cuts and had to drive back to Kenai to get one more piece. So 26 pieces of 8-foot long blue stain knotty pine to do both of those closets upstairs. My next project's going to take 17 or 18 pieces of that same wood. I'm going to use it in one more location in the cabin, and then that's it. I probably won't use that wood again in the cabin. But yeah, so when I'm all said and done, it'll be about 35 pieces. Thank you very much for that, Bill. I like that reminder because if you do hit the thumbs up, it tells it tells YouTube that you're finding the content interesting, and it says, huh, these people like it. Let's suggest it to other people. It does nothing but help the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Shave the mustache and then grow it back. I don't know, man. That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing. If I do shave the mustache, I'm telling you right now, my lip is that freaking big. It's that, right? That's how big my lip is if the mustache comes off. Oh, you did 24-volt lighting. The 12-volt is awesome. And especially these fixtures because they're dimmable and they're super bright, right? But even though I'm going to have 3 lights in the kitchen, my plan is one there, one behind me over here, and one over on this wall so that all the countertops will be all lit up. I won't be using it that much during the winter. I mean, during the summer because it's pretty bright in here, and I'm going to have that kitchen window put in right in front of me. There's a kitchen window that's going to let a whole bunch of light in. But I really enjoy the fact that I don't have to tweak my battery system at all for the 12-volt lights. I could just run them all 12-volt right off a 12-volt battery. I did not make the coffee table yet, Cecilia, but that's coming too. I get to working on a project and then I see something else that I want to do first, and I kind of stop off, and I don't really sit on the couch that much, and I have a bucket that you've probably seen in videos that sits right next to the couch, and I use that to hold the plate and everything. But a coffee table would be nice, and that's coming soon as well. But I think I'd like a table before I worry about a coffee table. Bill wants to know about any big projects for this summer. I've talked about it a couple of times. We'll mention a few again. So I'm going to put in a garden. I'm going to start the garden this year. I hope to have about 25% of it planted for the first year. I don't expect to get the whole thing done this year. I do plan on getting the whole thing fenced up and set up, but I won't have it 100% planted this year because I'm not really set up to process and store what I harvest from the garden yet. So limited root crops, potatoes, onions, probably some beets, maybe some parsnips, maybe some turnips. So some heavy root stuff this year. And then of course some salad greens, so I can have a fresh green salad with a steak on the grill or something like that. I want to build a walk-in chicken coop because with the birds, the quantity of birds that I have now, which is what, 16 birds, I think, and a rooster. It would be a lot easier to keep the coops cleaned, maintained, and to get the eggs and everything out of there if I could just walk into it. And cleaning that first coop, while it was I was talking to Ward about this today, while it was an awesome design and great for the limited birds that I had to begin with, it's too small for all the birds that I have now. So a big chicken coop. I'd like to build will build a new storage shed for the generator back behind the cabin. I might actually put a whole power room on that side of the cabin. We'll see what happens because I can build that off to the side and shed roof it without having to do too much in the way of foundation work, I think. So just odds and ends like that. A lot of fishing this year. I want to get out and see more of Alaska this year as well. Dan, awesome to see you, man. Doing fantastic. That's awesome. I appreciate it. The weather, I didn't do the ticker down there, did I, this morning? Here, hang on a second. Let me get this real quick. On the bottom of the screen, inside temperature, the loft is 59, the kitchen 65, outside's 28 degrees. We got a small chance of snow later this week, but right now, pretty much clear skies. I mean, I got some high clouds going on, but nothing bad. We had like 4 inches of snow earlier last, or at the later part of last week, and then I got a dusting on Saturday night. But other than that, hopefully the weather's turning and we're going to get super cleaned up. Lost myself there. Lipstick Lodge, hands are full of dough, but she's texted. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Chris B, awesome to see you. Good to have you here today, man. When will I? David Evans is asking when I'm going to build my bedroom addition. Not this year. More than likely next year. For those that don't know, I know that at my age of, well, I'll be 61 this year, I'm going to come to a limit of how many times I'm going to want to climb the stairs to the loft. And then the loft will become pretty much a guest room. And I'm going to put a bedroom down here on the same level or a step down from the rest of the cabin. And then I'll just continue the roof over the top, kind of shed style on that side as well. But probably like a 10 by 10 or a 12 by 12 bedroom would be nice. Some windows, and it would be a ground floor bedroom would do well for somebody getting older. Right, Cecilia? Remember when I only had 150 followers and I got the land? And it's crazy. It's crazy. This is just, YouTube amazes me. And the community of people, I'm luckier, I think, than a lot of folks, because I get awesome people constantly commenting on the videos. I get, the occasion person that attacks me, and that's fine, because I've never claimed to be an expert about what I'm doing here. And I'm not a how-to, I am a how I did it kind of channel. But I've been very, very lucky and very, very blessed with the people that have decided to follow me, and I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I was talking to my boss, Angie, the other day at work, and she goes, man, I remember when you get super excited because you got 2 subscribers in a week, and now I think I'm right at 3,600. It's crazy. It's so much fun. John Feeney, how are you today? How much frost left in the ground? I don't know, because it's buried in snow. But this piece of property is pretty awesome. So usually what happens is I'll get a lot of standing water for a day or two, and then I'll come home from work, I'll open the door to go to work, and the water's gone. The ground just sucks it right up. So I don't get super deep depths of frost here. At the most, maybe, I don't know, maybe 12 inches right now is all I've seen on this property since I've been here. And after digging the sonotube holes for the cabin last year, I found out why. I have a lot of sand and gravel underneath the ground. So super, super awesome that it drains so quickly. Kristen, if I bought screens for the windows, mosquito season is quickly approaching. I haven't seen the first one yet, but you are right. I have screens for all the windows that I'm going to open. So I have 2 screens for downstairs and 1 screen for upstairs. And I'll probably only ever open the 1 window that's on my side of the bed upstairs. So yeah, I'm covered for screens right now, but I'll probably have another screen made for the other window up there. It's not that hard to have done. But yeah, I'm all ready to go. I am ready for days where my windows are just open all the time. I am looking forward to that. I must have missed that, Ryan. Where do they do that at? Fairbanks, I think, right? But that's never been something I've been that interested in. I've never really paid much attention to Bigfoot at all, other than I think the stories are neat. I like the stories. Right? We'll definitely do a live from the deck. We will definitely do a live from the deck. Al, how you doing, man? That's what happens when Sean decides it's time to clean up. Every March, the beard pretty much goes away. Usually August, September, it starts to come back for the winter. I don't know, man. I'm not Adirondack chair is more my style. I'm not really a rocking chair kind of guy. I'm more of an Adirondack chair kind of guy. One that just kind of sits back, that I can recline in and relax and have a nice long handle that I can, put a cup of coffee or a bottle of water on. Yeah, that's more my style than a rocking chair. Yeah, it's very doable. Solar panels in Alaska are very, very doable. And then the crazy thing is that when we have most of the sun and we need most, and we're getting most of the power, is when we don't really need it, because we're outside and we're too busy doing stuff. But I've got right now not much. I've got 280 watts worth of panels here at the house, and I'm going to be working on those this week. Digging out the main panel, the 180 one that I've had for a while, getting it moved over to a better location, and getting the 100-watt panel set up as well, probably. But yeah, I'm looking forward to generating my own free power that way. They can get pricey. Having a lot of solar panels can get expensive. And man, it seems like every time I get ready to do something with them, I got to watch 15 videos. It just drives me insane. It should be super, super simple. And I know that once I get into it, it will be. But at this point right now, I'm still pretty green on how to set it all up. Rusty, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Glad you can make it today. Russell Nicolini, how you doing, man? So does that mean your wood came from Owen's Donuts and stuff in Sierra Village? Right? I don't know if it came from California or not. But that was the very first place I ever saw it. My dad built a restaurant. He put booths in. And they got a great deal on beetle kill wood that they made all of the benches and the booths out of because nobody really wanted to use that wood at the time. But it's so, yeah. But it either came, it came from the West Coast somewhere, right? But quite likely it came from there. Leslie Lindsay, good to see you. Awesome. Glad you can make it today. Have I thought about building some window plant boxes? I don't know. We'll have to look. Once I get the deck done, I'm not going to do anything like that on the inside. But once I get the deck done, I'm more of a container guy on the deck, so I'll probably just have some big containers out there with flowers. I like flowers. So with flowers and maybe some veggies sitting out on the deck, some fresh herbs so that I can just walk out and grab what I need to cook dinner with that night. But I'll probably do something with containers on the porch, but probably not build boxes on the windows themselves. Ari Hill, how are you? Right? Yeah, it is a change, a big change. See, it starts to get Greek to me with this. So I'm looking at, 24-volt system. We're running 22 24-volt lithium batteries, total of 400 amp hours. I understand that part, but then it gets back to the conversion and buying a 24-volt power inverter is a lot more expensive than buying a 12-volt power inverter. And the wiring changes, and man, I'm not an electrician. But then again, I wasn't a carpenter either, and I've somehow managed to build a cabin. So we'll get there eventually. We will get there. Rusty's asking, has anybody heard from Cabin Dweller lately? Stacy posted on Facebook today that she's somewhere with palm trees right now. So she is on vacation, not in the Yukon Territory. Sounds like she's doing good, though. She was pretty excited with her post. I don't know if I saw it on Instagram or if I saw it on Facebook. One of the two. But yeah, I just managed, matter of fact, I just happened to see her post today, and it was her and palm trees. Actually, Jerry, Canadian, first spring project is not going to be a roof. And the reason why it's not going to be a roof is because I can build the deck while there's still snow on the ground, but I'm not really interested in climbing up on the roof when I still have the possibility of snow. So what I will do before I put the metal up there is I'll put the roof layment on top, and then I'll recover everything with the tarp or with a new tarp. And then I'll get that tarp so that it's rolled up and my windows are all clear, so that I can look out all of my windows on the side. Because the window on this side of the cabin right now is blocked off completely by the tarp, so I can't get the light. So I'll actually be building the deck when there's snow on the ground still. I just need the snow to melt enough for me to get to the main beams coming out. Kevin Wright, good to see you. Awesome that you can make it today. Russell saying he wired his cabin for 120-volt AC, but wish he had run separate 12-volt DC system. For lighting, 12-volt DC is so much easier. It's crazy. And originally I had thought about wiring this whole place like a house, but with all the 110, 120-volt AC, and then I got to thinking, I don't use that much electricity. I really don't. And after living on the property in a trailer, I know how much power I really use. I don't have a toaster. I don't need a toaster. I don't have a microwave. I don't need a microwave. It's pretty simple. So I think my emphasis is going to be mostly on 12 volt. And then I'm more than likely going to break down and run 120 AC for the refrigerator, a real refrigerator, and a stove. While I would love to have a propane fridge, the price is just ridiculous. And it would just be easy enough for me to build up my battery bank to power the refrigerator, and the stove itself will just need the battery power or the 120 regular outlet to work the igniter in the oven. I don't need it for the burners on top. I can light those just like I light my little cook stove here. But you got to have that for the oven, unless I buy an off-grid oven. And then the price goes from a beautiful one used for $300 to an off-grid oven for, $1,800 or $2,000. So, and I would rather invest that in batteries than I would in that oven. Ryan says, on his channel, he posted some videos about the Flip It house. His parents bought a house and the previous owner died, so we got some awesome stuff from the house and the previous owner's friends. Oh, very cool. That is neat. Send me a message, Ryan, or tag me in that video so I can check it out. I'd like to see that. That would be neat. Right? Right, Chris? The KISS principle, for those who don't know, is something I grew up with. It's called KISS, Keep It Simple, Stupid. Because that to me is the easiest way to do anything. Keep it as simple as possible. But there is a lot to be said for eventually when I have a well here, I would like to have a 24-volt system so that I could pump the well water, because that's much more efficient than trying to run a 12-volt pump. Much more efficient. Countryside Acres Homestead, how you guys doing? It is awesome to see you guys. Very cool to have you. I thank you guys. I appreciate that. I really do. These guys, I talk about them every time I see them, and I talk about them even when they're not in the lives. Have a great channel. They're in Canada. They bought, Aaron, Anissa, whoever's here, or both of you if you're there, is it 100 acres or just over 100 acres that you have? They bought this property. First of all, they're awesome people. They bought this property, and he's a carpenter. He built a beautiful home. The home is gorgeous, and he has some of the most awesome tips and tricks for living off grid that are just no-brainers. Once you see him, you go, why didn't I think of that? And he is probably a charter member of the KISS rule. Just keep it simple, man. Just keep it simple. But great channel, guys. Check it out. Yeah, right. That's going to be, and I've said it multiple times, and I'll say it again. When that trailer gets hauled off this property, that's probably going to be the most emotional day I think I've ever had. I guarantee that, because man, when I first moved on to here, and the first night that I spent in that trailer on this property, the only lighting I had whatsoever was kerosene lamps. And to this day, I still have the same kerosene lamps, and I'll light them and use them on occasion just for the romance of doing it again. But yeah, it's come so far. From the first day that I pitched a tent on this property and brought all my gear out here and started cutting down trees for the driveway, man, it's nuts. It is nuts how far this has come. I need a podcast. I actually used to do that. I had an online radio station, but I also used to do podcasts. And I might start releasing some of them again, because I have some of them saved. I was doing it every year at Christmas. I was releasing all this Christmas music. And then I was a DJ on a local FM radio station up here, which was super cool. I had a show every Thursday night. And I don't know if I'll get back into that again, because it was real tough on the body. Way too many hours in the day by the time I got done coming back and then having to bounce back to work the next day. But I love radio. Radio is awesome. To me, it is a super fun medium to connect with people. And this is this is like the next step, right? This is a super fun medium to connect with people, and you can see me and you can see my expressions and everything else. But I love radio. Hester's Garage, how are you doing today? Awesome to see you. When will I get the roof done? I'll get the roof done this summer. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to, I won't go another winter with a tarp on the roof. So the roof will happen this summer. Mosquitoes with open doors and windows. I know, right? But I don't really have that much trouble with them. I don't know if the chickens keep them down or what. But since I got the chickens, I haven't had a big mosquito problem. Ryan got a Leatherman pocket knife, Knife Jeep extra tough cup. Very cool, man. That is awesome. I had a Sony Handycam. Those are fantastic. I had one of those. Thanks, Henry Leslie. Good to have you here today, my friend. Always awesome to hang out with you. Russell, Sean, all the extra power in the summer means you can pull out a toaster oven and use it instead of propane. We bought one recently, using it more and more. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. Although I don't know that I would use a toaster oven, because I don't really, I haven't needed one for 10 years. I haven't needed anything like that for 10 years. And I don't know that I need anything like that again. What I would like to do is, and I've talked about this before, eventually I'd like to build a full outdoor kitchen, including a wood-fired pizza oven, because man, I love pizza. I can live on pizza. But I would just love to have that kind of a setup outside, because I'd love to do all of my cooking outside if I possibly could, for as much of the year as I possibly can. And then the inside will be, when I'm doing my winter stuff. Dan, how are you? Good to see you today. Are you planning to use sonotubes for the support of your deck? Wasn't sure if you already. My deck is kind of cantilevered already. So there are 3 main beams on my cabin, right? There's a center beam and the 2 outside beams that are holding the whole cabin up. When I built those beams, I decided to extend them and make them 30 feet long. So they extend out the front of the cabin right now by a total of about 6 feet. So they're cantilevered. So they're just, I could put the deck right on top of that and not have to add any more support to them whatsoever. And they're tripled up 2x8s. So they're actually a 6x8, each one of them going out. So I shouldn't have to support that with anything. It should be fine, because they go from their furthest point will be about 5.5 feet out all the way to the back of the cabin here. And they hang out just a touch on the back of the cabin, which I'll trim up this year. Liz Weekly, Lizzie Liz, how are you? Good to see you today. Man, I got to get caught up. I'm getting behind, aren't I? Holy smokes. Russell could tell you better than me, but since you're doing 12 volts, I would put east to west flowing panels. Okay, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. I need to line that up a bit more too, because I get a ton of sunlight on this side of the house, southern exposure, and then I get almost nothing on that side of the house. So I'm thinking I'll put a panel or 2. If you guys have ever watched Mike over at 50 Acres in a Cabin, what an incredible woodworker he is. Just phenomenal. He's got like a panel or 2 on one side of the house, then his main panels, and then other panels on the front, because the way that the sun moves for him, he's getting power all day that way. I'll probably eventually get to that kind of point as well. Okay, scrolling through. I'm trying to catch up here real quick, folks. Trying to catch up. Camp Bell, everybody. Cecilia saying, Sean, you can find a bunch of friendly gas stove and get the conversion for propane cooking. Yes, and I can buy propane stoves all day long. It's not the stovetop that's the problem. The problem is the oven doesn't have a pilot light. Okay, so it's an electronic ignition, and the only way the oven will work is if it has power. So I would be left with 2 choices, right? Choice number 1 is have no oven. 3 choices, right? Choice number 1 is have no oven. Choice number 2 is have to run the generator for the entire time that I'm cooking something in the oven, which I don't want to do. And choice number 3 would be to build up a battery bank big enough to be able to power that igniter underneath the oven. And that's kind of the direction that I'm going to head. And that's the whole problem. The difference between a regular everyday appliance that you buy at home in the way of a gas stove compared to an off-grid one is the off-grid ones have a pilot light or a battery igniter that does not require electricity. 200 acre. Okay, you guys clear. For some reason I thought it was 100 acres, but maybe you were talking about the 100 acres that when you were on the property walking it the first time, somehow that I remembered it that way. Oh, big changes are coming. Awesome. I'm excited. Very cool. Very cool. Right, Oliver. I remember the tent day. I still have that tent, and I still camp, and I still camp in a tent on the ground. I love it. I love sleeping on the ground. Best night's sleep I ever get is when I'm sleeping on the ground. Yeah, Joe was one who helped me set up the old Winamp radio station that I had when I first had. It was IRFT, Internet Radio from Tuolumne, and it was Celtic music with a twist. And it was super cool because I had bands sending me CDs. They were all independent artists, so I didn't have to deal with copyright stuff. It was a ton of fun, and I got to the point where it was fully automated and it broadcast 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then I would do live shows for 2 or 3 hours a day, pretty much 7 days a week. And I had a different I would do different music on different night. It was just a ton of fun. Ton of fun. Wayne Warrow, how are you, Wayne? Tarek, going to throw it out there. Use the old trailer as a chicken coop. Yeah. I've had a couple of people tell me that, but I've also had a couple of people tell me they're interested in the trailer. So if somebody's going to be building a place and they need a place to stay and that trailer would work for them, I would rather see it go there than as a chicken coop, because the minute I converted it and used it as a chicken coop, it's done. It's destroyed. And honestly, I want it off the property. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. I want it to be gone because I want that area over there for parking. Talk dirty to us. Tell us about all the building codes and zoning. I don't have to deal with any of it. I don't have to. So I have to get a permit if I put a septic system in, but I use an outhouse. So I don't really have to get the permit. The guy that puts the septic system in gets the permit for you. That's the only thing I have to deal with. And property tax, which will only last for 4 more years, because at the age of 65 in the state of Alaska, or in my part of the state of Alaska, they waive your property taxes up to the first either 150,000 or 250,000 in value, and my property is not worth that much. So, it's terrible. I hate how they do that here. When do the bugs come out in force up here? They're asking from Countryside Acres. Probably mid-April. When we start to get a good thaw, we'll start to see more and more bugs. But we don't have black flies and that kind of stuff that you guys have to deal with. We just have mosquitoes and dragonflies, that kind of stuff. So we don't have the voracious kind of bugs that you guys have in Canada, or that like Russell has over at his place. We don't have those kind of things here. Just mosquitoes, and they're brutal. They drive me insane. Do I have a Rolls license? I don't know what a Rolls license is, so I'm going to say no on that. Scotty, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. Can't post links yet. Okay, no problem, man. No problem. I sure you got my dad's 18, watching it in 2008. My dad. Oh, that is funny. That is so super cool, man. That is so super cool. Leslie, funny thing is, Sean, most people have no idea how the off-grid living is. I know they don't, and I didn't, and I still don't, and I'm still learning stuff every day, and I still change my mind about what I'm going to do every day. I could never see myself living the way they lived in, say, the 1850s. That would be, I don't know how they did it. It was a totally different mentality. And I watch, I'm a huge fan of My Self-Reliance, and I watch Sean James, and one of the things I notice now is that he has more electric in his cabin, I think, than I've ever seen him have before. And he doesn't hide it. He has a generator, and he runs it and tops his stuff off. And there are certain things that you still want to have, right? I couldn't do this. I couldn't do a live broadcast unless I had some kind of power here. I couldn't create videos unless I had some kind of a power system here that would allow me to edit videos. So, there's only so much off-grid that I can go, but I don't have a monthly bill, and that's a huge thing for me. Dan Lehman wants to know if I'm thinking about a wood deck or a Trex deck. Wood. I've seen Trex up here, and I don't care for how it reacts when it gets icy. Not interested in that. So mine will be wood, because ice is the thing we deal with up here. I wish a wood cook stove would be awesome. The only problem is you can't really use them once it gets warm unless you have a vented room or a room that you can really open up, because it gets too hot. And they're beautiful. They are gorgeous. And I've cooked in one before, but yeah, no, I think I'll just get a wood stove, and I think I'll just get a good old-fashioned propane oven. Yep, Cecilia mentions it too. They're beautiful. I love them. They're works of art. They're very expensive, and they will really cook you out of your kitchen during the summer. They will really cook you out, which is why I want the outdoor kitchen too. But during the winter, it would be incredibly, functional. It would keep everything that much warmer inside. Yeah, right. Mark's saying the same thing here. They picked up a propane conversion stove. When they need to use the oven, they just run the Jenny. But I don't I mean, my generator's running right now, and I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I don't like that noise in the background. I really want to get away from having that noise because it just detracts from everything that I can hear, and a lot of enjoyment that I get from just sitting outside and listening to birds. I'm flapping through here as fast as I can to make sure I got everybody's questions answered because we're getting down towards the end. Yeah, man, every time you guys in Canada start talking about blackflies, you talk about them like they're the end of the world, and I believe you. I am glad. I am glad I don't have them here, right? Even Russell chimes in, and he'll talk about them when they hit too. And then Jeremy and Ashley over at spacing it right now. Mapleberry Farms. They talk about them too. Crazy. No-see-ums, right? We get no-see-ums. Those drive me nuts too. Oh, William, no, I don't have a commercial radio license. Although it would be fun to have a commercial radio station. Nothing's off the table yet. I do not. I am the same way, right? Lipstick Lodge. I always sort of smirk when somebody freaks about losing power. They'll post on my Facebook Funny River community page, power's out at this mile, and I'm out, and I'm out, and I'm out. And I'll comment, man, I got no problems here at all, right? And then Will jump in and go, that's because you don't have power, you idiot. Vineyard Farmhouse, good to see you, my friend. Awesome that you could be here today. Scotty, you're good to post links now. Post Countryside Acres. Post Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead. Who else wants their link posted? Let Scotty know. Scotty, if somebody says they want their link posted, do me a favor, please, and post it. I greatly appreciate it. Lakeside of Grateful, how are you today? Beautiful day in Southern Ontario. Awesome. Very cool. Mosquitoes are bad in April and May. Do they come out in force in June, July? We have mosquitoes from the time the snow melts until the time the snow comes back. So they just, and then if you disturb any of the tundra or the overburden here on the property at all, which I will be doing, then they got a million more of them. It's crazy. It is crazy how many mosquitoes we have here. Yep, exactly. That's kind of where I want to go, but I think as much as I would like to have one, and unfortunately as small as this place is, I don't think that a wood cook stove in the cabin is an option for me at this point. That, and like I said, the price of them is crazy. There's so many other things I would love to do with the money it would cost me to buy one of those. Right, and that's just it, right? And they're fun to have, and they're fun to use. We're talking wooden cook stoves again here, and they're nostalgic, and they're very usable. But how much am I actually going to use it? I would use a regular stove much more than I would ever use a wood cook stove. Karen wants to know how the ladies and the black beauties are doing. They're doing fantastic. The black beauties are the black Australorps that I got last year. They're doing awesome. The rooster he's doing okay, but he drives me a little insane. He's getting a little bit bossy with me, and that doesn't really work. But I really want to keep him, so I'm just going to keep putting him in his place until he knocks it off. I might actually, as soon as we get some decent weather, get out there, put a chair in the run area with him, grab him, hang on to him, put him in my lap, and make him sit with me for an hour or two, put him in a timeout. But they're doing great. They're doing fantastic. Bird Dog, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Just got done snowshoeing. Yeah, warmer days are coming. That is awesome. That is super awesome. Firefly Farm, how are you doing today? 70 degrees in New York. Wow. Stink Bug Festival. Exactly. Right, Bill? The mosquitoes were so bad last summer on my property from developing the land. They are, and And you won't have a whole bunch of issues with mosquitoes, generally speaking. If you're just out and about, going for a hike, fishing along the river, you'll get some. You won't get a ton, though. But you disturb that land, man, they'll come up in clouds. It's crazy how many you get. Aaron hates bugs. It's not bad. It's no worse than it's a lot less worse than what you guys have to deal with on a regular basis. And tell Aaron I've got coffee. I've got plenty of coffee. I always have coffee. Emma Morton, how are you today? From the UK? Very awesome. Glad that you can make it. Man, it's late there, or early, depending on how you look at it, right? I got caught up. I really need to do a live like early in the morning so that I can catch so many viewers that I have now that are from overseas and make it a little bit easier for them to join a live, because I think that would be a ton of fun getting some questions and their perspective on what I'm trying to do here. I might try and put something like that together in the next week or two. Raven saying, get some guineas. They are good for bug control, but guineas are loud, nasty birds. My chickens get loud enough. I do not want guineas. Those birds are loud. Yeah, the wood stove's on anyway. It's like a slow cooker. Just put on. Yeah, right. But yeah, my wood stove will be the same way. Once I've got a wood stove in here, I put a pot on top of it. I can go ahead and cook anything that I want on top of that. I can put a frying pan on there and cook anything I want in that. So that'll be fine for just basic winter meals. But when I want biscuits and gravy, I just want to put the biscuits in the oven and have them bake. I don't want to have the stove stoked and everything else. I want it as easy as possible. I know, Karen. The rooster's just trying to protect his flock. I get that. But at the same time, he needs to remember where his food comes from, because I'm the guy that feeds him. Carol L., good to see you. Glad you could make it today. Mark, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. 2 for RV, thank you for joining this afternoon. Good to see you. We're just about to the end here, folks. It's been an hour. I want to thank each and every one of you for spending some of your time with me on Sunday. As I get ready to head out of here, I'll run through and say hello to a couple other people I saw that popped in. New videos every Friday for me. And I'm trying to do some shorts during the week to kind of update you on what everyday life is like here in Alaska, in my part of Alaska. I'm on the Kenai Peninsula, and I'm just having a ton of fun doing this, and I'm having a ton of fun connecting with you guys as well. Thanks as always. I'm going to head on out of here, but before I do, I want to say hi to Susan Brewer. How are you? Awesome that you made it today. Jill, caught you at the end. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Awesome to have you pop in. You guys have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the day here today, and hope your week is fantastic, and we'll catch you again on Friday. Talk to you soon. I am Sean in Alaska, and I am out of here. I got some stuff to do today. And I got to run to town to get something for dinner.